Now at 9, a bus driver talking about this startling stop, why he says this man climbed up on the front of the bus in the middle of the Mass Pike.
Pretty wild scene there. And we are going to take a live look outside. We're in for another summer-like day with the temperatures, but this warm weather, is it finally here to stay?
I hope so. Well, the evacuation's ordered in Hawaii after volcano eruption sends a long line of lava flowing through the Big Island.
And stepping down, former Senate President Stan Rosenberg will make it official later today. What he's saying about this decision to step down from power.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
All right, good morning. I'm Carrie Corrado.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Anderson. I hope you had a fantastic week and you loved soaking in that sunshine. And the good news is you're going to get a chance to do it, but you may soak in some raindrops at the same time.
You're going to be mowing my lawn and washing my car today.
Oh, my gosh.
Because
Thanks.
it's nice weather.
I drew the short straw, Ren.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those days where you want to get outside and enjoy some of the weather, but you also want to be weather ready because we've got that chance for passing showers here through the morning. We've seen one round move through. That's mostly offshore. Gloucester as well as Metro Boston. Still seeing some light scattered showers right now. It's steadiest across the North Shore, though. And then you do notice a break in the rain. But we do have another round of rain that's going to move in from our west, tracking eastward into the lunch hour. So we do still keep that chance for showers later today. As we head through the afternoon, we'll grab some peaks of sunshine as well with partly cloudy skies. Currently 69 in Boston, 71 in Bedford, 67 in Worcester. It's warm and it's humid out here today. As we head into the lunch hour, we're still dealing with those showers, and we do have the chance for storms as well, especially late into the day. During the evening commute, we'll start to see some of those develop to our west, track eastward, and we do have the chance for storms into the overnight hours as well with downpours and gusty winds. Guys.
Some breaking news first up here at 9 o'clock. Police in Boston are looking into this case after shots were fired in Dorchester. And you can see the bullet holes right into the windshield of that vehicle. Let's get right out live. 7's John Coco has been tracking the story for us. John, what have you learned so far?
So, Chris, here's what we know. One person has been shot. He was taken to Boston Medical Center. He's expected to survive. Boston police are still here on scene. If you take a look behind me down Wayland Street here in Dorchester, you can see a few cruisers still on the street. But it looked a lot different earlier this morning. When we first got here, there's police tape covering this street here, blocking the street. And in the middle of this street were a number of evidence markers. It looked like there were shell casings here on the ground. And then you mentioned that SUV, that BMW that was here, covered in bullet holes. From what I could count, I saw about 8 in that BMW. We spoke to a woman that lives right here on this street. She said the shooting happened right in front of her home. She described an extremely scary situation at around 5 o'clock this morning.
My son jumped from the bed and he started shaking. I knew right away it was a shooting, and it was so scary. My mom lived on the floor upstairs. She was screaming. She said somebody is knocking on the door, but she just woke up from her sleep. I told her just relax, it was shooting.
So again, Boston police are still here on scene. From what we know, one person has been shot. He's been taken to the hospital, and we're told he's expected to survive. That's the latest live here in Dorchester. John Coco, 7 News, Today New England.
John, thank you.
And new this morning, firefighters in South Boston responding to a building fire at Tasty Burger on L Street. It happened just before 2 o'clock in the morning. The restaurant was closed at the time. Damage is estimated at about $150,000. No one was hurt. And also new this morning, a fiery crash on Route 6 in Rehoboth. You can see the mess after a vehicle and a tractor trailer collide. We have reached out to police for more information, and we'll bring you those details when we get them.
Caught on camera now, a shocking sight happening right in the middle of the Mass Pike. Look what's happening here. This man stops his car in the middle of the highway in front of a Weston school bus, forcing that bus to stop, and then he climbs up right on the hood of the bus and starts yelling at him. This morning, we're hearing more on what the driver says this man was saying to him. Nicole Oliverio is live with more on this pretty bizarre moment, Nicole.
Well, Chris, if that school bus driver hadn't used his dash cam video, I bet nobody would have believed what happened. But that entire incident played out right in the middle of the busy Mass Pike. Dash cam video captures a man trying to climb on the hood of a Weston school bus right in the middle of the Mass Pike.
somebody tries to get on my bus and who knows, beat the crap out of me or whatever.
It happened Tuesday afternoon. Watch as the red sedan swerves back and forth in the center lane of the Pike. The driver hitting the brakes and slowing down as other cars pass on either side. The driver appears to gesture for the school bus driver to pull over to the side of the highway, but veteran driver Joe Rizzoli didn't and couldn't believe what happened next.
A man jumped on my bus going on the Mass Turnpike, pulled me over in the middle lane and stopped the bus.
State police say the driver of the red sedan put his car in park in the middle lane of the Pike and tried to open the door of the school bus. After he couldn't get in, he climbed on the hood and yelled at the school bus driver.
His words were, "Why are your windows dark?"
There were no students on board at the time. Rizzoli, who's been a bus driver for the Weston schools for nearly 40 years, mounted his own camera on the school bus because he wanted proof when crazy things happen and says he's never seen something this bizarre.
I was like flabbergasted.
State police say they identified the driver seen in that video, that he's a 42-year-old man from Dorchester. They say they have talked to him. It's unclear if he's going to file any charges or really what initiated him to stop that school bus in the first place. That's the latest live along the Mass Pike. Nicole Oliverio, 7 News, Today in New England.
Thanks, Nicole. Happening today, the former state Senate President Stan Rosenberg is stepping down. The decision comes after Senate ethics investigation that focused on his now estranged husband. 7's Victoria Warren is live at the State House this morning with more. Victoria?
Good morning. The resignation taking effect today at 5 o'clock. And this morning, both Democrats and Republicans are saying this is the right move. It's the last day on the job for State Senator Stanley Rosenberg.
We accept Senator Rosenberg's resignation because we agree with the decision that it is no longer appropriate for him to serve in the Senate.
Is the right result here is to not have him continue to serve as a member of this body.
He handed in a one-sentence resignation letter after an independent investigation says the former Senate president failed to protect staffers from his estranged husband, saying Rosenberg knew him to be volatile and abusive to staff. Brian Hefner is facing 10 felony charges, including sexual assault. The Ethics Committee report says Rosenberg gave his then-husband access to his email account and had significant failures in judgment. Rosenberg released a statement saying, "I have devoted nearly 40 years of my life to public service with over 25 years in the Senate, motivated always by the best interests of that body and my constituents. To the extent my efforts fell short, and most especially to all who have been affected, I convey my sincere apology."
And I called for the former Senate president to step down, and I'm glad that he did. I think he made the right decision.
Now, they did not find that he broke any Senate rules, so since he is resigning and not removed from office, he's still eligible for his pension. Live this morning from the State House, Victoria Warren, 7 News, Today in New England.
Look what's happening in Hawaii right now. There are mandatory evacuations underway on the Big Island after a volcano on the island erupted, and now lava is leaking through the streets of residential neighborhoods. Big cause for concern. Hundreds of people have been forced to leave their homes as the line of lava flows through forest land and through the streets, and it continues to rise up, literally breaking through the streets. Officials say there is no way of knowing how much longer Kilauea, that's the volcano, will continue erupting into the sky and onto the streets, forcing hundreds to evacuate. Kilauea, one of the world's most active volcanoes, is erupting on Hawaii's Big Island. Officials have been warning residents for days that an eruption could happen without much warning. Evacuation orders came on Thursday when lava flowed more than 10 miles after a crater floor collapsed. Residents say everything happened so quickly.
Within minutes, we've seen smoke, and now we see all this lava coming across the street, and it's pumping right now. So this fissure is opening up, and this is our next eruption.
A column of red ash and steam rose over the volcano following a magnitude 5 earthquake. That earthquake and a series of others before it, all the results of the collapse of the crater floor. The collapse forced magma into the underground chambers before it broke through the streets and other fissures. Residents captured the explosive lava flow breaking through a road as others tried to get away from their homes and the impending danger. For some, leaving is an easy choice, but not for everyone.
Some customers that are scared saying they're going to leave the island. We have some customers saying they're not worried. What do you expect? You live on the side of a volcano.
The area is home to the Volcano National Park. Nearly 15,000 acres of the park are closed because of the unstable conditions. Hawaii's County Civil Defense Agency has ordered private tour companies to stop taking people into that volatile region right now. The crater that has erupted right now is also the one that erupted back in 1983. That sent lava soaring high into the sky.
The Nobel Prize in Literature will not be awarded this year. This follows a string of sexual abuse allegations and financial crime scandals within the Academy that selects the winner. This is the first time since 1943 that the award will not be handed out. The Academy says 2018 prize will be awarded next year.
To the president's agenda, where President Donald Trump is scheduled to speak at the National Rifle Association's annual convention in Dallas. This will be the fourth year in a row that President Trump will be addressing this convention. And it comes with the White House surrounded by questions over a presidential payback in the Stormy Daniels case. 7's Matt Rascone is here with more on these stories. Matt?
Yeah, Chris, questions focused on what the president knew about the payment to Daniels and when. We've heard conflicting messages on this story for weeks now, culminating with Giuliani's recent revelation that caught even those in the White House off guard.
We give the very best information that we have at the time. I do that every single day.
New explanations and more questions in the fallout over Rudy Giuliani's shocking revelation on Fox News Wednesday night.
Funneled through all of them, and the president repaid it. Oh, I didn't know he did. Yeah.
Apparently, not even the White House knew that President Trump had reimbursed personal attorney Michael Cohen for the $130,000 he gave to adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
The first awareness I had was during the interview.
Cohen made the payment in 2016 as part of a non-disclosure agreement with Daniels that she says was to keep her quiet about an alleged affair with the president a decade ago. According to Giuliani, even President Trump, who denied knowing about the payment last month, didn't know the details until as recently as 10 days ago.
We filed our case in the first week of March, so there's no question that he would have had to have known about the allegation or the payment as of that date.
Daniels' attorney Michael Avenatti says Cohen and Daniels' then attorney spoke extensively about the need to finalize the payment before the 2016 election. He argues the money, even if repaid, violates campaign finance laws.
Well, I think it's incredibly damaging, and I think it's a shocking admission by Rudy Giuliani, namely that he has admitted the exact opposite of what has been said time and time again.
Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money.
The president echoed those words in a series of tweets where he said the reimbursement to Cohen was part of the monthly retainer and called Daniels' claim of an affair extortionist accusations.
What's still unclear is what impact Giuliani's comments will ultimately have on the president or Cohen. While some argue this makes things only worse for President Trump, others see it as clearing him of any potential wrongdoing. Matt Rascone, 7 News, Today New England.
Thanks, Matt. Well, there's much more ahead on Today in New England, including some power problems in a Peabody neighborhood. Fierce flames from a truck fire melting power lines above.
Well, rough landing for comedian Kevin Hart. Look at the tire on his private jet. This is what happened to the plane when it was landing in Logan.
And I'm tracking scattered showers with the risk for some strong storms as we head into tonight. I'll take a look ahead.
And it's a slow but typical morning commute, especially on 93. I'll have more details after the break. Stay with us.
The National Weather Service says an EF1 tornado touched down in Royal, Oklahoma yesterday. They also say a number of confirmed tornadoes were recorded during Wednesday's storm. Severe weather reached through the plains and into the Midwest. A pizza delivery man in Oklahoma not lucky enough to escape the wild weather while trying to get someone their food. His car hydroplaned and was overtaken by the floodwaters. He says he just had to get out.
It seemed like it just took like 2 seconds, and I was going underneath the speed limit and everything. I just lost control so fast. My car just started filling up with water, and I tried to open the door, but there was just too much water pouring in, so I just climbed out the window.
And thankfully, no one was hurt. We're seeing a lot of rain out there and the humidity. And the big question is, do you put the air conditioning on in the car or do you put the windows down?
No, I'm an air conditioning guy, and I'll tell you why. It's because me, like a lot of people, have allergies. And when you open up the windows, you let all that pollen and stuff in. And I think it's been pretty high lately, Ren.
Yeah, it has. We've got a very high pollen count. Elm, maple, juniper, all pretty high right now. And as we head into today, at least we've got a little relief with some of the rain showers on the way. But by tomorrow, we're right back into the thick of things with that pollen count. Right now, it is warm out there. We're close to 70 here in Boston, 67 in Worcester, low 70s in Bedford as well as Fitchburg. It is pretty sticky too. So dew points have gone up since yesterday. We're currently dealing with dew points in the mid 60s. So it doesn't get much higher than that. We're looking at your frizz factor definitely way up there, just shy of oppressive humidity levels. And we have had a couple scattered showers work their way through. These are currently tracking offshore, but the North Shore still seeing some scattered showers and some light sprinkles across the South Shore. We do have another round of rain headed our way with a break in the rain in between. So this first round moves offshore. We've got these showers to contend with that are in New York. Those are going to work farther eastward into the lunch hour for us. And as we head into tonight, we've got the chance for some stronger storms with a cold front approaching from our west, and that's going to track through into the overnight hours, ushering in some cooler and drier air for us. We won't deal with that high humidity for tomorrow. But here's the lunch hour. We keep those scattered showers in the picture, and an isolated storm is possible. But our best chance for stormy weather is this evening. So here's close to 6 o'clock. We're already starting to see some storms develop with downpours, very gusty winds, likely, especially across western Massachusetts. As these track farther eastward, they're definitely capable of bringing downpours and gusty winds to the coastal plain and southeastern Mass. But the general trend is that they're going to weaken as they track farther eastward. So in terms of the greatest risk for severe storms, well, that is to our west as well as generally west of the coastal plain. So there has just been an update. Now we've got an enhanced risk for much of Vermont and New York, and a slight risk in yellow here, which still incorporates western Massachusetts. A narrow band of green, that's the marginal risk. That means isolated severe storms. And where we have this lighter green hugging the coast, that's where we're still seeing storms, but it's likely not as strong as what we'll see to our west. Today, temperatures are in the mid to low 80s for us, and we're going to stay breezy here as we head into tonight. Temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 50s. We do have a wind advisory west of 495 late tonight through early tomorrow morning. As we head into your weekend, we're drier and less humid into tomorrow. Guys?
Thanks, Ren. Time now for fast track traffic. Here's Elena Pinto. You said you need some patience out there.
Oh, you need some patience out on the roadways and on the tracks this morning. We have a 25-minute delay on the Kingston line, so train 040 is affected from that. We also have a 20-minute delay on the Green Line E branch, but thankfully the Orange Line back on time after an earlier track fire that happened at the downtown crossing station. For your commute on the roadways, you will have to battle the expressway if you're coming in from the south, and it is going to take you some extra time this morning. It's pretty heavy. That's where the majority of our red is too. A little bit on 95 approaching 128. If you're coming in on 93 from the north, that's not too bad. And a small delay up leading into the Littleton area. If you're coming in on 495 southbound, you'll hit some stop and go action leading up to Route 2. That's due to a crash. Right now, drive time on the expressway will be about 35 minutes, 15 on the Pike, almost 30 on 93. Guys?
And also this morning, some touchdown trouble for comedian Kevin Hart when one of the tires on his plane ripped on the runway at Logan. Comedian Kevin Hart had some trouble during that touchdown. He was on his way to the Celtics game, and when he got there, his private jet blew a tire while landing.
Just touched down here in Boston. Had my first airplane scare. As soon as we got there, touchdown.
All right, the actor and 76ers fan posted the frightening aftermath on social media right after the landing. FAA officials say the 9 people on board were able to walk off the plane. And Hart posted this picture to Instagram saying the pilot handled the situation perfectly, and he says he's glad nobody got hurt.
Yeah. We're happy he's okay.
Absolutely.
We're also happy that his 76ers lost to our Celtics.
I was going to say he's a huge 76ers fan.
Which is why he was in town, so now he's off to Philly. So are the Celtics for Game 3.
Yep, well, coming up on the news station, speaking of the Celtics, they continue to defy the experts, capping off a huge comeback with a Game 2 win over the Sixers. What the team is saying as the series heads to Philly.
I think Jalen's hamstring's feeling better. What do you think?
I think so.
All right, and a word of warning for those of you who use Twitter, why the company is now recommending that all of its users change their passwords immediately. We'll be back.